What's up? Hello, everyone. It's good to be back home in Vermont. I grew up there. Spent the last 6 years down in Washington, D.C. I moved back up for a job working for my dad, which thus far has just been a very enjoyable experience. I really don't have any jokes about that. I genuinely kind of like my job. But part of the reason why I moved back up here for the job is my old one in D.C. was horrible. I worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and Will Ferrell and Step Brothers was lying. They do not have an excellent corporate structure, and they do not give you the tools to be your own boss. Granted, a large portion of that was the last 3 months I worked there. I aggressively did not give a shit, but you know, what are you gonna do? The one thing I will miss about that job, though, is the people. I worked with some real characters. I worked with a gentleman named James. He was a car prep, which is to say he was a guy who just kind of washed and vacuumed cars. That was his profession. And James was about 5'3½", maybe $170, so you know, great shape. And he was like weirdly obsessed with sex, which I didn't realize when I first met him. But one of the first conversations we ever had, we were riding in a car to go get an oil change, and he turns to me, he goes, "Man, I was looking at your pay stub on your desk," which, you know, is a gauche way to start a conversation. You really don't want to talk about money in polite society, James. He's like, "But I see what you make," which is 41 grand before taxes. Yeah, it was kind of a big deal. And he's like, "Man, if I was making that much money, I would spend it all on prostitutes, like $200–300 a pop. Those bitches would have crazy booty." And I was just driving the car, and I was like, "Yeah, no, for sure." I don't know how to respond to that, man. You've made me tremendously uncomfortable. And then a couple weeks later, he came up to me and he asked with like all sincerity, like a scientist who's like, "I gotta make a new cancer medicine. How do I go about doing this?" He was like, "Jack, let me ask you a question." I was like, "Shoot, man. Let's hear what's on your mind." He's like, "Do you think if a bitch sits on an office chair all day and makes her ass flatter?" And again, with total seriousness, and I was like, "You know what, man? I really don't know. I'll ask some friends. Let me get back to you on Monday. I might have some data. We can maybe go over this. I don't know. I really don't." He's like, "I think it does." And I was like, "Again, that's your hypothesis. Let's get more data. Let's work through this, all right? We can find an answer, okay?" Another, honestly, one of my favorite people I worked with was my branch manager. This guy named Sanjeev, who's in his mid-30s. Nice guy, but the best way to describe him would be aggressively sad. Like, he was like always the first guy to talk about his divorce, like without you asking him about his divorce. Like, I was dating a girl who I brought to the office Christmas party, and when everyone at the office found out she dumped me, everyone was like, "Oh man, like, are you okay? Like, we really liked her." I was like, "Yeah, me too." Yeah. But Sanjeev like found out about that, and he was like, "You know what? I'm a leader. Let me like be a mentor to this guy. Like, we'll establish a mentor-mentee relationship." So he would just like approach me and be like, "Jack, I know you're going through a breakup. I know that's tough. Just be lucky that, you know, you weren't married, because then the bitch would have taken all of your money." And I was like, "Oh, that's 7:14 on a Tuesday, Sanj. I'm not ready for this. Let me get some caffeine in my system before you launch into your diatribe about how your ex-wife took all your money. I'm not emotionally prepared for this." And he would talk to me and he'd try and like get on my level. I was like a 23-year-old guy. He's like, "Look, you gotta get back out there, right? Here's what I'll tell you, man. This is my advice. Don't go to a strip club. Don't do it. You know, I've been down that road. You know, you walk in, you flash your Amex card. They're all over you, but that's just gonna be fleeting. You know, like, throw money their way, but like, is the sex that good? It's okay, but again, you're gonna lose like $600–700 a night. So just don't bother with that." And I was like, "Oh, okay, good to know. I'm going to send this email to a customer asking them how their service was, but I will file that away for a later date, Sanj. Thank you." It's my time, everybody. Have a great night.